Storytelling has always been a central part of our language and our culture here in Lewis. Stories make us who we are. We learn so many lessons from stories getting passed from generation to generation. And this is why I am in a cave here in Lewis on a Saturday afternoon to tell you the story of Lanntair. When I was younger, I heard so much about Lanntair. He was kind of like the local bogeyman. We'd heard so many stories about Lanntair, but who exactly was Lanntair? Well, let's find out. Lanntair, according to Lewis legend, was a notorious and shadowy murderer and robber. According to folklore, Lanntair, translating as the son of Stronach, came from Garve in Rothshire. One night, his sister had a friend round to stay, who was wearing a nice colourful necklace. When the two were in bed, unbeknown to Lanntair, his sister borrowed her friend's necklace. Lanntair had his eye on the necklace. Whether he liked the look of it, or if he believed it was worth a lot of money, he decided he wanted it. He sneaked into their bedroom and killed who he thought was his sister's friend, but he had actually murdered his sister. This is what led to Lanntair to become an outlaw and ended up scavenging around Lewis moorlands. The following, whether to be believed or not, are a few creepy, but at times amusing tales about him. One day, women of Burray were out at the h-ealaineans and were passing Lanntair's cave. They started throwing stones and things at the cave and shouting, "Come out, come out, hick-a-mach, hick-a-mach." As they were wailing at the cave for Lanntair to come out, a black sheep popped its head out and they all nearly jumped out of their skin, thinking Lanntair was coming to get them. Lanntair was also often seen on the moors of Uig. He would keep himself alive by stealing sheep and cows. He lived in the early part of the 18th century in a cave behind Kjos that is still known as oirbh Lanntair. But it wasn't just that cave in Uig and in lochs that Lanntair had. He also stayed in caves and h-ealaineans all over the place, all over Lewis. And this cave that I'm in just now is famous for housing Lanntair. This also is known as Lanntair's cave. Lanntair was reputedly the first cousin of Lily Macaulay, the wife of Robert Finlayson of the Kjos manse. On many occasions, it is believed he found refuge at the manse at Kjos, and Lily would leave food for him in one of the many outhouses. This must have caused some discomfort for the well-respected minister of the cloth to be so closely related to a man of violence. Local tradition maintains that on occasion he slept in the manse, and the marks of the panelling above his bed show where he would stick his dagger at night. It would appear Lanntair only feared two things: dogs and ghosts. But his presence on Lewis spread through the community a very real and justifiable fear of him. The dates of his criminal activity fits in well with Mr. Finlayson's time at Lochs. The procurator at Stornoway in 1834 wrote, "There being a man lurking about the island of Lewis who is suspected of having committed some serious crime, but for the present has evaded being brought to justice, and he puts the inhabitants of the island in fear of their lives." It is believed that he was eventually captured in 1836. When asked as he went to the gallows if he regretted anything in his life, Lanntair answered, "Only two things. The first is that I killed a child. The other, that I didn't kill the minister."